Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Cameron. Howard, our local segment today, another 1,000-point score.
Isn't that awesome that we are
Absolutely.
racking up some individual achievements? Todd Simons, Wassentown, got an opportunity to watch his highlights and how he can use his right hand and his left hand.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, just knows how to play the game. You could tell that he's an athlete that can play other sports. Just a guy that comes along and intelligence, the ability to move without the ball, and the ability to finish with both hands and shoot it. That's how you become a 1,000-point scorer. And he's a third guy in Austintown's history.
About that. That shocked me.
Yeah,
50 years between?
isn't that something?
With the three ball since 88, 87, 88?
Isn't that something? That is. Usually 3-point scores in the modern world.
You find that strange?
Become 1,000-point scorers, especially if you play in ninth grade and play up for 4 years. But Jack Morrison did it in 1955. You people at Austintown remember the great Jack Morrison and William Jacobson in 1966. Both of them Hall of Famers, and now Todd comes along and does it. Proud parents, proud people at Austintown. They should be. Congratulations, Todd, for a job well done. We also want to congratulate Poland senior offensive lineman Carter Kellgren as he signed with YSU, the 6'4", 300-pound lineman. I always
that's what's going to happen if Youngstown gets over the hump. More guys like him that can open up that line set to the point where you can pass or run, and when you need to eat 4 minutes, you just hand it off.
Well, YSU, it's winning that league.
Yes.
has to be grinders. They do. I don't see them
Nope.
getting players all over that are just skill dominated. They get good skill, but where they've always been great is in the trenches. And let's hope that Carter's the guy that changes that around from Poland, Ohio, local kid who has the size. Now let's get in that weight room, get up to 315, get those feet moving, and maybe 4 years from now we'll see him sign with a pro team.
Absolutely. We're hoping when COVID is a thing in the past, we can get over there and talk to the coach, maybe do a show outside like we used to.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of shows.
We enjoyed that. And best of luck to this guy. You got to be the start. Someone's got to get this thing started.
Right.
And man, 6'4", 300, I like the idea.
Yeah, North Dakota State's there, and you know they're not going away.
Never.
And so you're going to have to up your level. You can't expect somebody to come down.
No.
So get your recruiting out. They signed 8 guys. We talked about it last week, and now they get Carter. And good luck once again to anybody who's local. We cover on this show, and that includes all Penguin teams. And that leads into the basketball team who had a big win,
humongous,
over Northern Kentucky. A league win. They split that series, and they've always lost to Northern Kentucky, George.
He's the first winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, and 8 times they've lost to them in a row.
Right.
So that's their first conference win of the season. When you have Nazbo Hammond playing, who was one of the best 5 players in the league, and you always have a chance to win. He always puts up close to 20, 30 points in a game, and I think that Coach Calhoun has him playing excellent ball right now.
How about 5 for 5 from the foul line? That nothing's
I'll take that
better.
with
Got to
me.
go to that foul line. And,
Wow, is that a good point, George?
You got to make that defense pay. You're going to foul me? Okay, watch this.
They're called free throws, and
Free.
that's why you practice good habits. We watched, and George and I trained kids for a long time. Kids who fall back off the line, kids whose head moves.
How about yesterday, LeBron? He's joking around on Twitter about shot an air ball on the foul line. Talking about the wine going down one side. Kid, I wrote him. I said, you can kid around all you want. If you had that ball on the other side of your face, a guy with your hand-eye wouldn't shoot 71%.
Yeah, it's great, and he's one of the top 2 players that ever played the game.
Absolutely.
But it's with his ability.
Yeah.
You understand? He was given ability way past even pros.
He's
You know
given
what I'm
a
saying?
body. No one looks like that.
No, nobody looks like him, and that's the Greek Freak. Same thing.
Yeah.
They're the same way. They don't look the same. So it's just a natural thing. Neither one of them are going to be as great as they could be.
I
know people are looking at me saying, I'm telling
Cameron's
LeBron James could have been better. if he would have learned to shoot the ball.
71% foul.
Yeah, you got to be in the 80s and 90s in the pros.
Oh,
That's what
just
you got to.
with his E&I, he can go to half court and flip it over his head. That's out there. And the freak, I watched him in He went to the
Still
line
can't do
with
it.
4 tenths, 2-shot fouls.
Still can't do it.
And I looked, I said, "There's no way." 63%.
Was ever thought he's making both of them?
Never, Albert.
Never thought.
Listen,
Never thought.
It never crossed my mind. And I was even sorrier because I thought maybe he could have tipped it in if he'd have been in the 2 spot.
LeBron is the greatest passing big man of all time. Him and Magic Johnson. No, there's no question about it.
No.
But I think George,
I know.
because of his free throw shooting, and late in the game, he'll give that ball up to somebody else
There's another motive.
because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to get fouled.
Absolutely.
I don't think
Well, we've watched
I
it.
don't think he believes in a
Hey,
whose situation he's going to make both
I
free
saw
throws.
Bill Russell there that he was on. He's classic. You know, he's an old timer, but you know, he's
He's hilarious. What he is.
and he's confident. He's
Oh yes.
he was telling. I got 2 good stories I got to tell you because the one ties in. Jordan said something to him about breaking his record. Russell goes, "Which one?" But it gets better. And Jordan, he said, "You know that shot that Paxson made?" Jordan says, "Yeah." He says, "When I played, he wouldn't have made it." And Jordan goes, "What do you mean?" Russell goes, "There were only 8 teams." He goes, "He'd have been in the stands."
I say it all the time.
8 teams.
I say it all the
There
time.
were 80 jobs.
I say
there
all the
were
time.
80 jobs.
Basketball. I will say this to Bill Russell.
The athletes.
Yeah, that's what makes basketball so much better today than it was then, because the center, the 4, they were 6'7".
Yeah.
Now that's a point guard. So
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
But where it really comes into play is
Yeah.
baseball. I say to people all the time, baseball's not better.
Not a fundamental.
You can tell me they are, but baseball is a hand-eye coordination sport, not how big or fast you are.
Yep.
You know, and they had 8 teams, George. That means
And
32 pitchers.
Hey,
That's what I'm saying.
my buddy
30.
played for
That's
the
all pitched.
My buddy
30
played for the
pitchers.
Montreal Dodgers. He could never make it. Koufax,
can't
Drysdale,
get in, I know.
Osteen, Padres.
Yes.
Today they have 5 starters, and he'd have been on the team.
Oh no. They have they have 15 pitchers on every staff.
Hey, one more Bill Russell story. You'll love it.
Oh, I love it.
His young son's poking him. Play 1-on-1. He goes, "I don't play anymore." You know, he's one of these guys. When he put the shoes away, he didn't have any shoes. So they were in '68. It was in the Mexico Olympics. "Come on, Pops." Now he said, "Look, I don't play." He says, "You're afraid I could beat you." Mistake. He goes, "All right." He goes, so he goes and borrows a pair of shoes from the Olympic team. Somebody had shoes. And he says to the kid, he said, "Only one rule." What? The guy said, "No spectators." Russell says, "I don't want anyone, just me and you, son." And he says, "What do you want to play to?" And Russ said, "You know, I know 11's the game." He goes, "But he says 21, figuring he'll wear me out." At 19-0, he says to the kid, he said, "I'm going to let you score a couple." The kid said, "Why do that?" He said, "Oh," he said, "just because." He said, that way you didn't get shut out.
19-0?
Yeah, 19-0. He said, but that was the end of it. And the guy was that golfer that has the hour show with the interviews, terrific. And Russell's just hooting and hollering. You know, he has that cackling, ha ha, that cackling laugh. But he taught his son a lesson. He said, you know, that was the last time he ever asked him.
Well, Russell, for you people, read up on him.
Oh, no.
Undefeated seasons in San Francisco. He's just a winner. You're talking about a guy that just played to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take those kind of anytime.
Yeah, Casey Jones just passed.
He played on that. He played with them.
Yeah.
He was on the same team.
Tommy Heinz
Yep.
passed.
San Francisco and the Celtics. Yep.
This year was a tough year. You know, guys like us, our sports heroes they're going quickly.
It's that time.
Yeah,
It is that time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but without a doubt. Let's shift gears, talk a little college football. The Heisman finalists. What are Al Campman's thoughts? Who will get it? Who should get it? And why?
Well, I think a quarterback will probably get it. So I'm guessing Mac Jones. That's going to be a guess of mine. He doesn't deserve it. There's no question in my mind. Devonta Smith that deserves it. He's been the best player on the field in the country this year. Wide receiver at Alabama who
Is
makes
that number 6?
number 6 makes everybody else look like they don't belong. The eye test for me tells me he's the first receiver I've noticed way better than everybody else since Julio Jones.
Very humble, by the way.
Oh yes,
I saw him the other day on Feinbaum. Very humble. When Trevor Maddich calls you a bad dude and says
That's your boy, Trevor Maddich.
Trevor's my favorite.
Yeah.
And he said there's no way to cover him. He said when he wants to go long, and he took a little snippet and he showed him, like faking like he coming back for when he wants to go short. Said it's whatever. He said you have no chance.
Yeah, and they have some other weapons around him, but he stands out, and I'm hoping he gets the award because it's supposed to go. I asked George this question. George, it's supposed to go to the best player, and if it is, there's no question about it. Now, if Lawrence played all year,
Yeah.
then Lawrence.
Now, let me ask you.
Lawrence didn't play all year, so he can't.
Well, he and Jones split votes. I would think they would.
They probably would.
Well,
They probably would.
then you might see Kyle Trask.
Maybe Trask might sneak in.
What do you think of Trask?
I think he's a player of the system of Florida, the athletes around him.
Oh, that's not good.
That's what I think.
I don't like hearing.
I didn't say he's not good.
No.
I'm telling you, his numbers are unbelievable because they go 5 wide.
Yeah.
And you can't cover a whole team.
No, I call them Greyhounds. Guy said that the other day on Twitter. He said, "Well, why can't Notre Dame?" I said,
They don't have
"Don't have the Greyhounds.
They don't have
It's
forwards
that
off
simple."
that.
I was talking to one of those Las Vegas guys, the ones that are on that show you listen to sometimes on
uh-huh.
Sirius, Schweitzer or one of them.
Yep. Mhm.
And I said, they don't have the Greyhounds.
No, and they don't. What can you say? 4 offensively is one of the top 2 offenses in the country.
Mhm.
They just don't stop you. Alabama's number 1, and you saw the last game they played it was what's 55,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
And what other team did that to Alabama? Lane Kiffin.
They can score too.
Mississippi, and once again, they play no
Yeah,
defense.
you can't even count them.
They're
in the
old
thing.
sis, right?
Yeah, you can't put them in
But
the thing.
man, their offense isn't. It's high tech.
And the other, the thing we want to mention that Mac Jones, Alabama, Devonta Smith, Alabama, and the 5th guy invited, who would have been there, was Najee Harris. He got the 5th most votes. He's not going to be there on the stage, but that's 3 of the top 5.
Tell them when the last time it happened was. It wasn't like it was yesterday.
Yeah, we had to do some research on this one, and we find out that Army in 1946 had 3 guys nominated for the high school for the Heisman. We know that Doc Blanchard, Mr. Inside, and Glenn Davis was right. So those names are famous. But Arnie Tucker was also nominated.
There's
in
a little
1947.
known fact about that team. One of the other running backs, William Boren, Bill Boren.
Yeah. How about? Hey, is it true?
Absolutely, Matthews.
Bill Bourne's going to be the head coach.
Absolutely.
You have to admit.
That we're going to be there. I guarantee
We're gonna have Bill. We're gonna have Bill on our
He
show.
wants to come on
because
as
I
soon
looked
as
it up.
we get this.
I did look it up, George. I had to do it.
Is he the oldest
Yes,
coach
he
in the
is.
country?
86.
He'll be 87 when the season starts.
86 was the oldest before.
Yeah,
He is now going to break the record.
87.
He's going to be in the record book.
in July.
Think about that, Bill. Congratulations.
We love him.
Yeah, he's just an amazing
Yep,
guy.
He's going to come on as soon as we get back in the
And it's
studio.
amazing.
No.
You and I can't walk through the
And
door.
listen, don't think you're getting some old timer.
Oh, no.
Because you're not. He's got more energy right here. Look. this
Way more than us
finger.
combined.
Like if someone said to me, I was talking to my cousin last night, and he says, your buddy, coach, and he said, I said, he has more energy in one finger.
No question.
I said, if you came to me tomorrow and said, I need you to coach, here's $500,000. I couldn't take it because I couldn't
He
finish.
wouldn't make it.
No, I need a nap. Afternoon.
No, he
When
does.
I'm watching Feinbaum, I need a nap.
So he's got the double header. He's got the energy of a young man,
Yeah.
and he's got the knknowledge
I'm a whipper.
of
He's
every.
old timer.
So he can run any offense you want to run.
Any offense.
Today's offense or the 1950s offense,
yeah.
and it'll work. So
Yeah, and I know his staff is a bunch of guys that played
yes,
for him over the years.
so they're loyal and they trust
Absolutely.
them. Yep, no question
Hey, the
about it.
Pirates, fire sale. They had this saying about, telling people one thing. Don't tell me one thing when you're doing. You could fill in the blank there. The bottom line is, Charrington, I need more proof than we have when they use the word prospect. To me, that's a euphemism for not very good.
Yeah, I just think they're fire selling completely.
Okay.
And Cleveland didn't fire sell. Cleveland,
No.
for you local people who love the Indians, they still put a team out there that you could really root for hard.
Yeah, respect.
Pirates are minor league right now. They're a minor league team. They just traded Josh Bell to the Washington for 2 pitchers. One had Tommy John surgery, had 11 point.
Isn't that automatic when they get someone?
And the other one's 19 years old. They say he throws hard. There's a million of them out there, George, like that.
See,
there's a million of them.
a guy called our radio show,
Can he
and we let it go because he was all excited. 97. First of all, it's like unrequited genius. There are a million people to throw 97 straight. Now, 40 years ago,
right?
We just said, "Oh
that's
boy!"
fire. Yeah.
Not today. The bullpen at Tampa has 5 guys in it.
Yeah, they all throw
90
hard.
plus,
They all throw hard.
95.
It's the guys that have command.
You're right.
And the guys that have the ball moving.
How about Greg
are
Maddux?
successful.
How fast?
Those 97s come in straight. They go out hard.
They go out. I tell how we tell the story. We knew Chuck Tanner a little bit, and Chuck tells the story. They got this brand new machine in center field in Three Rivers, and here comes Lee Smith. First pitch, 104. Next pitch, Parker hit it out into the water somewhere. They're still looking for the ball.
Yes.
It's straight.
They love speed. They love the
Beats nothing.
The only thing wrong with the speed today is the hitters will not change. So the uppercut, so anything above the belt they can't catch up with. If they hit the ball like they used to,
Yeah.
they could catch up with it. But
If they weren't in the launch
angle, so they
got
can't
to strike out for the 150.
They don't care. They don't care. That's another topic. No
Yeah,
question
we'll get
about it.
that for another day. We have several.
Yes.
Hey, DeAndre Hopkins really loves to practice. I know he's one of your favorites.
In today's world, I struggle mightily as a coach who 60 years between us. I struggle mightily with my years of coaching that the team meant everything to me. The individual did not mean a lot to me. Off the floor, I cared about him, but on the floor, he was representing our team. DeAndre Hopkins says he doesn't want to practice. I'm not going to practice.
I don't practice.
I'm not going to practice. He immediately, I know now, and why Houston got rid of him.
And who's in the unemployment line? Is he in the unemployment line or Bill O'Brien?
It's sad what it is today.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
What did Chuck Daly say? They let me coach.
They let me coach him. And that was even before today. I mean, Chuck Daly knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what Hopkins does now. When I watch him play, I'm going to root against him.
I'm saying.
Because I cannot handle somebody.
And then once
George, does he have teammates?
No.
Does he have any
Not
teammates?
to mention the greatest ever, Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitz stuck up for him, too. I give Fitz stuck up.
Yeah, Fitz, he's a team.
He's a team guy, yes.
But when he uses that line like that, you never played line. What he's saying is, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm out there, you're not. That's why you're in the stands. You have to get the inference. He's a bad guy.
Well, my thought is that you have teammates
that are
practicing.
Yes.
So if you really care about your fellow man and that's your teammate,
yes,
then you practice. Now in today's world, George, we know if you perform on Sundays,
you don't practice Wednesday.
They're fine.
Roethlisberger, they always say,
fine.
Ben didn't practice today. I said, no, listen to me. I said, he hasn't practiced Wednesday.
They're fine with that. I hate that so bad. They're fine with not practicing as long as you go out Sunday and perform. That doesn't make it makes no sense to me at all. I can't grasp somebody not practicing.
Stories of the year: Bayou Bengal Tigers, Joe Burrow throwing for some ridiculous 5,700 yards and 60 touchdowns. That may last a while.
Yeah, our 2020 moments are pretty amazing stat fillers. No question about. Joe Burrow was the guy at LSU. That LSU championship team will go down as one of the 5 best teams ever. They had draft choices all over the place going to the pros. 15-0. George, they would score on anybody at any time. I mean, Hilaire, no one even knew who he was. He was a good back. He goes in the first round of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he was back then. They had so many. Jefferson from Minnesota. Nobody knew how good Jefferson was until he gets to Minnesota.
You can't know there because they have so many.
So many. That's what happens.
And the other stories of Chiefs. I'm not quite ready to give him 77 MVPs and 15 Super Bowls. I'm one of those guys. I saw last year when they were behind 10 points in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. By the way, Andy Reid, if you kick that, Al and I got a lot more money in the bank.
Jeez, I still
We
cry.
haven't forgiven you, Andy.
No.
4th and 2, it's pro football.
He got us on that
He
one.
got us. We had the 3-3, didn't we?
$15,000.
Yeah.
$15,000.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
trailing 20-10. Don't forget that game.
Yeah, yeah.
They were
And
trailing.
then Jimmy G, down 3, missed a wide open receiver
Yeah,
that
yeah.
changed
So
it.
things happen in this in big games.
Yeah.
That if you watch them closely, there's probably 3 or 4 plays that you put that film on. And think, if we did this, if we did that, you keep going. But the Chiefs were champs. The Chiefs were the champs, and LSU champs. Also, we had a sad commentary.
Yeah.
In 2020, that's Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident, and I remember getting the call on the text. Excuse me.
Little girl with him in the family of another
Wow.
player, and one guy lost his wife and his daughter.
Yes.
So
It was such a sad commentary. There was a lot of tributes to Bryant. A lot of people talked about how hard a worker he was, and he really was. I mean, that was not you didn't have to read the tribute to know that Kobe Bryant was a fanatical worker, just the opposite of Hopkins, who we've talked about on the show. And great things happened, but also some.
how about Lakers title? We have the Lakers title in the bubble. And Al and I talked about this on our radio show last week. Obviously, they had a great team. They handled the bubble. Clippers didn't handle the bubble, couldn't stay out of the strip clubs.
Right.
The Lakers, I don't know if it was LeBron's leadership. I suspect it may have been.
I think it was. I'll give LeBron credit for that.
And I can't prove it. But the bottom line is they handled the bubble and they got a world championship.
Yeah, that combination in today's world of having great players, going 52-19 during the regular season. So they were coming in as one of the favorites. One other favorite.
Clippers actually were
Clippers were the favorite.
Yeah. How about a 3-1 lead and several double-digit
Denver,
leads
yeah.
in every game? Doc Rivers cost him his job. Now he's got to deal with Joel Embiid.
So
Good Doc. God bless you.
yeah. So LeBron and the eyebrow Davis go on to win a championship and make their legacy in L.A. And it was followed up by the Dodgers. Dodgers come right behind it. Condensed regular season, they go 43-17. They come back from a 2-0 deficit to get the Braves in 7, and their first World Series day since Kirk Gibson's days. Congratulations to the LA teams. George, that doesn't happen too often.
Sad. He has Alzheimer's. Sad.
Does he?
Oh my God.
He's a great memory. Probably the last team.
Yeah,
Was that the last
I
team?
think
I think that was the last team that won World Series.
Hey,
Yep.
some bowl game, just some thoughts on the Bulls in general. We have some big guys against little guys, Cincinnati and Georgia. That's the card table game, people. Little kids eat at the card table Thanksgiving. Cincinnati does not want to eat at the card table. They will be motivated. My question to you is, how motivated will the Dogs be? Because I know who's got the talent edge.
Yeah, and this would be an easy answer in non-COVID years that Georgia would not want to be here playing Cincinnati. They want to be playing in the national championship picture. But in the COVID year, anybody can get a game in. Anybody can play any game is going to be fired up. So I think Georgia might want to play in the game. Cincinnati is one of those Central Floridas, you name whatever you want, that wants to prove that they're as good as the big guys.
Brigham Young has that chip in her shoulder.
Yes.
They've ruined a lot of $2 million guarantee games, Brigham Young.
Yes.
You better watch when you invite those boys to your party, Nebraska.
Yeah, no question. So we're talking about Cincinnati, Georgia. Cincinnati has great team speed. They'll be as fast. They're just not as fast on the line. That's where the difference is Division I, Power 5, and the rest.
They got better quarterback play when the kid from Southern Cal came in, didn't they?
Yeah, Daniels played really well.
Okay.
Yes, he really got that in.
One other, the eye test. These guys running their mouth on Florida about Oklahoma not being a quality opponent. I'd have waited.
Yeah, Oklahoma's definitely quality. When great scouts come back from Oklahoma, they don't say they don't have any talent. They always come back and say, you have to see Oklahoma in their shirts.
Well, they're the shirt-off team.
What they look like.
We have them, Ohio State, and Alabama on our shirt-off team, don't
you
they?
see those teams.
Aren't they on our
And
shirt-off team or anywhere else?
For the first time ever I can remember, Oklahoma has a defense. They've been so lousy defensively that you had to laugh at them in other years. allowing 14 points in the last 4 games, really playing tremendous defense. Now, if you hold Florida to 30, you've had a good game.
Yeah.
But Florida's lousy defensively, so I can't say that Oklahoma won't score on them either. I like Oklahoma in this game too as a dog.
Interesting. A few minutes remaining. The Final Four, Ohio State getting a little more than a touchdown. Is that hook there to make you take them, or what is Al Kim? I know you're not happy with Fields the last.
Well, that's the reason you don't know about the game because I know what I'm getting from Lawrence. Lawrence does not have any duds in him. Fields has had 2 duds in a row. I worry that he's hurt. I worry that something's wrong because I think talent-wise they're equal. I think Ohio State and Clemson will both send a lot of players to the pros. We need Fields to step up. And as Ohio fans here watching, big Ohio State rooters watching this, you know that Fields has not played well in his last couple games.
And he has to.
And he has to play well against Clemson. If he does, it's a down-to-the-wire game. If he doesn't, it's going to be a 21-point game.
2 minutes left. Miscellaneous thoughts. Duke women bag it. Surprise.
Not surprised at all.
Okay.
You know, I truly believe that other teams are going to do it too. And I know it's coming. There's going to be a wide breakout after this Christmas break of this disease. Teams are going to say, "Listen, we just can't make this work." I think Duke girls might be the harbinger of what's to come.
Wow, interesting. And using the large vocabulary words, harbinger. You hear
How about that one?
You hear it on
that's
bottom line.
George using it.
Last minute, we're done on this one. I'm going to say something here. They could play this back, and I'm going to look awful dumb. I think the Browns are going to win out. Beat the Steelers week 17, beat them in the playoffs, and knock them out everywhere.
How about that? George has a plan for the Brownies.
I got a
You Ohio
plan.
fans should be happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I mean, and Al thinks that the Steelers can maybe stick it to the Colts. By the time we're on the
I
air,
think the
game
Steelers
will
are
be
going
over.
to give them this weekend. I do think that.
Interesting. You never know. I mean, no way to know, right?
Yeah, and once again, it's an opinionated sports show.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. You give your thoughts and you're
Is
right.
there possible Roethlisberger's hurt? We got a minute.
That's what I thought was wrong before.
Okay.
But I'm not blaming. See, everybody's blaming their offense. I'm not.
Okay.
The way they won all those games was the defense was getting turnovers. Short fields, and winning games.
Okay.
The defense is not getting any turnovers right now, and I think the injuries to their linebackers have hurt them
Finally caught
immensely.
up.
Yes.
Hey, thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.